Looks like we're back from the hiatus. Hey everyone, my name is Taha, and welcome back to Lok Kya Kahenge, your podcast in which we cover topics about culture and mental health. In today's episode, we will be talking about the current pandemic. While we covered a similar topic in our last episode, we felt the need to do a part two, sort of cover this once more. Welcome to Quarantine, day 83,920, with
Hi, I'm Kinza.
and
Manahil.
and let's get started. How's it going, guys?
So good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
I think that I completely agree with you. We felt like this is a completely different phase of the quarantine, and this warranted its own episode.
Absolutely.
Do you remember when we first we talked about like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, actually quite a
It was in the beginning when we just started like the lockdown and stuff. So the feelings were different.
I agree.
So I think the feelings are going to be different this time around.
I agree. I think it's become sort of like a way of life. As much as we don't want to, say that, but completely agree. How have you been? What have you been up to?
I've just had this routine over the quarantine. I mean, especially since our last episode. It's sort of like everything I used to do, but just more being at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Classes were online and just, doing work from home, sort of.
Yeah.
I believe that all three of us have experienced this, and that was transitioning from being outside the home for our work and then now being inside the home for our work. And now that it's been such a long time of doing it, it just feels like second nature to us. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, it's like you're pretty much used to it. It's like I haven't known any other way of life now.
I don't remember what life was like before.
It's like I try to think about it and I can.
No, I agree. And I think that it's actually, I think we should preface by calling out why we were away. And I think I want to say it's called the adaptability period almost. We were adapting to what was going on.
Yeah.
I'll start with what I've been up to. It just feels like lately I actually thought, I think I showed it to you a couple of days ago, but my Google Calendar has been filled with Zoom calls, one on one, like back to back to back. And it's just been, I feel almost like, that this is the only way that I've ever worked. And it's been screen time, meeting with people. It's been really easy to get lost in front of a screen for like 8-9 hours straight and not know anything else. And every time that I've been able to look up and, just look outside for a second, it's been like, wait, where am I? There have been good parts about this too, and we're going to get into, I guess, a little bit of that later. But for me, right off the bat, I feel like I am definitely more connected with the people around me due to, that save time on commute and stuff like that. So
yeah.
That's what has been keeping me busy, I think, before I could come and join you guys here. But it's been a lot of Zoom calls. What about you? What about you guys?
I've been trying to graduate, so that's good.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. That's what was keeping me busy. But yeah, I agree. Other than everything else, I think I was just more self-aware. I wasn't like a robot, like just doing things, one thing after another, like just hopping on a train, going to school, coming back, homework, work. It was more like I had time to do a little bit of other things. Although like finals and portfolio season took like everything out of me, it was nice to like do it in my pajamas and on my couch.
Of course. I mean, you guys bring up some amazing points. There is always two sides to the story, and in quarantine there has been like this feeling of, oh great, I can work at home in my pajamas, versus wow, I have so much to do because I have so much time. I think after the period of adaptability you mentioned, Ginza, there is a period of getting used to a routine and then sticking to it, which is why it felt like this is all we've ever known. And I think that the other point you brought up, Manahil, was about spending time with people around you and, doing things that you love. And I think that is a blessing, because when this is all over, we're going to look back and be like, wow, I don't have time for that stuff anymore.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be like it was before. What was our normal before?
Absolutely. So because of the time management we've all had to relearn. What have you guys been doing for yourselves in terms of self-care?
Ooh, can I start?
Yes, because she probably has a lot more than I do.
Well, she deserves it too because of that Google Calendar.
Yes.
Well, I want to say something like this. When you guys are coming out of school, and it's a completely different animal. So I have to say kudos to you, congratulations to you, and congratulations to
Thank
Taha.
you.
Yeah, and finishing off another successful semester to you. So basically, I have been in this rut, I want to say, for the past 4 or 5 years, where it's been 2 hours going to the city and 2 hours coming back. So my commute is like insane. And I haven't been on a treadmill, or I haven't been in the gym for like 3 years. And ever since, actually, it was day 2 of quarantine, it was day 2 of lockdown, and I said, there's no way I'm doing this without committing and taking some of that time that I'm gaining now and putting it to good use. So I'm proud to say it's like day, I want to say 63 of me working out continuously.
Yay!
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, there've been like a couple of nights here and there where
I counted. There were 2.
well,
That's it.
I have, yes. But yeah, I've been on the treadmill for an hour at the very least. I started and I was huffing and puffing, and I was like, you know what, this is so much hard work. And yeah, I'm really, really happy to say, thank goodness, it's been day 63. I'm now at a weight, not that like, that's a big deal for me. So I'm sharing with you guys. I've been at a weight that I haven't been in 3 years. So I'm really excited about that. I find myself making healthy choices when it comes to food and eating sugar, which is like my addiction. And yeah, that's been part of my self-care. Not as much meditation as I would like, but I feel like sweating it out and kind of like committing to it, whether it's 11:30 at night or I found myself on the treadmill like at 12 also, especially during fasting. I think that's been my self-care, I want to say, routine. So yeah.
Nice. What about you, Manal?
And it's so nice to witness it. And
Aw. See,
it
guys,
gives me
side
the-
note. Here's the good part about us three. Us three might have the best chemistry, but these two are siblings, so they have like chemistry and banter.
Thanks. What a disclaimer here.
Side note. Well, I think that I had like a first part of routine that I had to get used to, and now that I don't have school, now I'm trying to get used to like the second part of stuff, of like life that I need to get used to. So now it's not like, oh, I have to wake up and dive right into homework and finals and stuff. So it's a little bit different. But now versus before, now I'm doing work, quote unquote work, that like I actually enjoy, that I actually like doing for myself. Things, projects, side, little things that were just stopped because of school because I didn't have time. So I finally have time to do that. So that's been really nice. In terms of like other self-care, I've been enjoying nature a lot, so that's good. We got a new backyard umbrella. It's really pretty. Yes, you should see it when you come over. And we're trying to get the pool open, so that's also self-care.
Oh, same here. We're trying to get that pool open because we need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just go outside when there's no bees, because I'm really scared. But yeah.
Murder watch.
Oh God.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that thing?
They're psychotic.
Have
you seen that thing? Oh my
I
god.
had to do it.
So yeah, I know, that's exactly what I was thinking about. But yeah, it's just been really nice to just spend time with myself, with my family. It's nice. It's nice not the train part again. I keep coming back to the train part because I think we have PTSD at this point. It's really nice to not being on a train. Just like it's nice to be home.
True. I agree with the nature part completely. Like we've been. Believe it or not, do you see my tan line? Tan and the brown girl? Do you see it?
How is that even possible?
I get burned and I get freckles. So
Right.
Lucky you.
I'm just saying, no, I'm the most sensitive when it comes to like sunshine. But I've been enjoying, you're right, like cracking open a book outside on the patio for like, on the deck for like, an hour or two.
Yeah.
It's been so nice. when we've been lucky to get that warm weather
Sun,
anyway.
yeah. And I've been honing in my coffee making skills a lot.
Nice.
A lot.
Okay, same. And TikTok coffee, Delanga, however you say it, coffee, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, another thing. Didn't brown people come up with that like
Yes.
first?
That's what my mom said too. She was like, we used to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, gee, I'm cleaning this.
Yeah, my dad told me about the coffee when we were like 10 years old. He made it for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made it. Yep, completely give away the fact
Oh,
that our
oops.
dad fed us coffee when we were 10.
Her dad invented the TikTok trend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I've been getting my dad to like make some TikToks with me, so we're getting started on that soon. So that should be fun.
Talk about
That's a
self-care.
whole episode. Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait to see those.
Yeah.
But all in all, I just want to highlight two really, really like heartwarming things that you've said, and that's that the time that we're in right now is different. That's a good word to use because it's not like good or bad. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that you mentioned was spending times on things that bring us joy. So self-care is not only or limited to working out, whether we know that working out is amazing for your body, soul, and mind, right? It's clinically proven it's amazing for your physical health, mental health, everything. However, the things that bring us joy can also be things like, I know for me, was spending time with family,
Mm-hmm.
reading a book while just cracking a window open,
Mm-hmm.
also playing video games for 13 hours. But then you
Self-care.
have to find the equilibrium. So
Mhm.
after those 13 hours, I would take a walk around the block.
Mm-hmm.
So experiencing that like trifecta or however many things you're doing at once to triangulate your joy, right? So having that piece of nature, that piece of literature, that piece of work, and that piece of leisure time can really create it can create better moments for us in this different time that we're facing.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And you bring up a super good point. Like I think there was a moment in there where you had texted us that, hey guys, I'm just, I have this video game that just came out and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
So I'm free on this and this, like this. I'm not free on this and this day.
Yeah.
So don't expect.
Video games are my blood. Like half of it, if the podcast was like 25% of my life, the other 25% of my life would be the video game.
I love it. What else have you been doing? What else have you been up to? I know that we spoke a lot about it. But
So,
video games.
up until last week, the semester was still going, so I was still working on some projects. However, I did complete a few assignments early, so with that even more extra time, I was again playing video games, organizing things that I didn't get to organize, like deep cleaning.
Love
Right?
it.
Yeah.
I ordered my closets with an S. I ordered an external closet from Amazon, so I sorted some things there. I did the replacement of like winter clothes with like more summer and spring stuff.
I did that last week.
Yeah, see, that's something that I hope that the listeners can relate to, because if you
Right.
haven't done that to your closet yet, honey, you had all this time.
Now my closet is full of dresses, except for like
All the
jackets
time
and
to
stuff.
clean the closet. Other than that, it was again like deep cleaning. Other than closets, it was more so like a lot of dusting done. Played with my cats a lot. Had some bonding
Aw.
moments there. Helped my parents with the garage and the backyard because we're working on a
Nice.
few like projects here and there.
Yeah.
Reconnected with cousins in Pakistan.
No.
That was
Oh
good.
wow, that's nice.
And what else? Oh, my mom showed me how to make a few things. So like, because of Ramadan, it was like different foods that I like to eat but don't know how to make. So she would give me advice here and there on how to add these spices and how to fix this.
Love.
That's really sweet.
Other than that, that was a combination of things. That's it.
Love it. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Especially like cooking with your mom. That's really nice. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
our
seen
mom-
our mom thrive now that everybody's home and she's not like missing anybody.
Aw.
That she always was like, oh, she doesn't like being like alone a lot. So she and everybody had to obviously go out to school and work. So she's been really happy lately that everyone's home.
And my parents, the same thing. They live,
Yeah.
they live in New Jersey, but they came here to quarantine together because what would be the point if two people from the same family or three people from the same family are all being quarantined, but on the East Coast and different? It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Right.
Other than that, I think in terms of family, it was also the fact that the parents got the time got to spend some time with the kids because we're so busy with grad school.
Totally.
All three of us are just so busy in general in terms of work and school. That this time has made it so we were, okay, like I can do an assignment, but then I can just run upstairs and talk about some basic drama, some TV show, some Pakistani TV show, some investigate Discovery Channel stuff.
Yeah. I love it. I think you bring up a super good point. It's like I've really enjoyed that. There hasn't been a time here in our 10 or now 11 year period here where we've gotten to spend time with our dad at home, really. And yes, we understand that it's under very hard circumstances, but it's been really interesting to see, like, our dad actually he started a whole art what would you say, like a
series, a new series of paintings.
Yeah. And and it's actually on the I don't know how he got inspired for this, but it's been so awesome and so inspiring to see him work through the series. He's on painting 11 now, I think.
Yeah, 11.
And the series is on homelessness. So my dad he had like this whole plethora of images that he's taken over the years in the city, and of like homeless people, and it's been like really like people laying on the, how New York City is, like on the pavement, and like
the craziest places,
and having all their stuff with them. So anyway, like to say, like, to witness and a series come together and an exhibition come together in person every day has been so inspiring.
First off, I would like to say I'm super proud of Uncle for doing that. Secondly, there's no better time to do it than now because of how the homeless were affected by the pandemic. Like, we're talking about like first world problems, like, I overslept because of quarantine. Like, but these people, like, they're trying to find a place to sleep. And I think there's power in art. And I believe that, I don't know if I'm overstepping here, but just a little bit of a suggestion in terms of a talking point.
Yeah.
What if he were to paint those pictures and sort of auction them off and give it to charity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because it has to do with the subject. I mean, this is just a thought I'm throwing in there. However, I'm very proud of him for sort of bringing awareness to those homeless people, be it through art.
Yeah, thank you. No, we're definitely gonna take that back to him. We kind of like leave him in his own thing to do, and so he hasn't really talked out a narrative with us. But we know that once it all comes together, like, he'll talk about it. But those are the kinds of things that have really I feel like we haven't done before, and
like, I've seen him paint and stuff, but not like this.
Yeah,
that's really good. I mean, this kind of reminds me that everyone needs their own time to thrive.
Right.
Yeah.
They need boundaries. Like, when I'm done having iftar or the sunset dinner in Ramadan with my parents, I go in my room, doors closed. Like, this is me time. This is time for me to do what I love to do.
Right.
And there's no disturbances. If there's any emergency or some water leakage, then you text me. But, like, other than that, like, that's me time. I just want to stress the importance of having time for yourself in terms of boundaries and self-care, because the fact that your father has that time where it's like, no one disrupt me, or he doesn't even have to say it, you guys just don't approach him when he's in his zone, right?
Right.
I just want to say that's super important. A lot of people from elder generations struggle to understand that. So the fact that your dad's doing that, the fact that Uncle is doing that, I'm very happy to hear that he's doing that.
Yeah. And like, another thing regarding that is, I think I've noticed that our family has really understood the idea of like giving everybody in the family like their own space. Like, nobody oversteps into that space. Like, before, I don't know, when would we see each other? Like, over the weekends, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. We would be like totally into like each other's space. There was like barely any me time, and but now I think everybody has understood that idea a lot better, and everybody just lets everybody be into like whatever they want to do. So I thought that was really cool.
I think that's super interesting.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please. We're meeting after a long time, Taha. Go for it. I know we were gonna like talk over each other. Go for it.
Okay. I guess what I was trying to say is that with me time, the other beautiful thing is things organically flow. So once people are done with their me time, Like, oh, let me go see what mom's doing. Let me go see
Yeah.
what dad's doing. Let me go see what sibling one is doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really fun. I've just been like hopping from one room to another room, working with like, sitting and chatting with another sister and then just going to another to the next sister and then to mom, to dad. So it's been fun. It's like it's been fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to both of your points, like, we didn't get to do that. What you were saying before, like, we were out all week and then we were
Yeah.
burnt out, and we would come, weekend, we would be
Yeah.
like so tired.
Yeah.
Another thing that has happened, I feel, is that we now understand what each of our family member does in depth in their
Yeah.
own lines of work. So I think that that's been really interesting. Like, a question I've gotten from my parents is like, holy moly, you're on calls all the time.
Yeah.
How do you do, like, my dad has this like pity face after my day is done, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, now I know what you do. And I'm like, it's okay, Dad, I'm fine. I'm all right. Same you, like, there was a phase, in the last 4 or 5 weeks where all we would see is like an impression of Minahil that, once was on the sofa, and we'd seen that Minahil was sitting here and now she's at that, because like she's been so busy with projects and projects and projects and projects. Same with mom, same with dad. So it's been like really interesting. We've really learned to respect what, what each of us does, and to Minahil's point, how to stay, and make sure that if we're on multiple calls simultaneously. So like if somebody's in one room, like, make sure that we're out of their space or their hearing space and stuff like that. So it's been really interesting. And I think that coming out of this, there's a giant learning and respect for each other's, day.
Absolutely. And it's like, who are these people I'm living with? I finally got to know you.
Yeah, and I feel so blessed because like I'm hearing all these stories about like how people are really not getting along with their family members because whatever, but that's really has not been the case, which is funny because we were not getting along more when we weren't seeing each other. So it's like, if I'm not gonna see you, how am I like not getting along with you? But somehow that happened, but now that we're like seeing each other every day, we're somehow getting along.
It's kind of like the rubber band metaphor, because you guys are getting so much me time. There's not an overextension of keep stretching. You know what I mean? So you're not going to snap, because you always have that rebuttal of like sort of having me time. So you reset. If you didn't have me time, you wouldn't have like good interactions with each other. You guys would have been like tired of each other. But because you have that balance of like, okay, this is time for me to do what brings me joy, and okay, now it's time for me to go to parents and siblings, then it's different.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, you're not gonna grow sick of each other.
Yeah. No, but you guys bring up a super good point though. Like, there have been stories, and there are definitely people who've, their marriages have ended, unfortunately, or they're still forced to live with one another. I say that because I'm seeing examples of that on social media. It's been really bad. So,
which is so scary. Like, how is your marriage gonna end because of quarantine?
It's not all positive for everyone.
Yeah.
Listen, this is a great time to transition into our next topic of the dark moments, of course, right? The darker moments would be people who suffer from emotional and physical abuse at home.
yes.
The other moments would be people who are separated or divorced but are still living together. People who plan to move out and they couldn't. And all those kids who have been living in college, on college campus for a few years, but now suddenly have to move back because their campus is closed. I mean, these transitions are heavy. And for them, it's not just me time or you time. For them, this is a whole life change.
Yeah.
And they're dying to have quarantine over with so they can just go back to a life that's outside of the toxicity.
I completely agree. There's a whole, we haven't even, and I think that maybe whatever time we do have in this episode might not be enough, but there's a whole score of people that has been affected by the illness itself.
Yeah.
We actually know a couple of people, not thankfully in our immediate family, but, extended friends who are just like family, people who are older. One of my very dear professors and his wife, got affected by it. And these people, they've been, especially my professor, he's been, suffering from other conditions as well over the past 2 years. So there have been like really, really stressful moments of knowing that, oh my god, this thing is so unprecedented and there is no cure or vaccine for it yet, and people just dying. All these stories, all these heavy stories of even younger people getting affected, and then let's talk about that honest, the reality, which actually plagues me as well as an individual. The loss of jobs and employment.
Yeah.
It's
too
so
much.
true, yeah.
It's too much.
It has been really, and I personally, I vouch for this, like the disparity that has become so crystal clear over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. The reality of the fact that there are actually two kinds of people. We knew this was the truth. We knew that this existed, but somehow this disease has, kind of really shown us to our faces that there's a group of people who can afford to and has the luxury to order groceries on Instacart or something like that and have them, being delivered. While there are other people who must, and have jobs that are not remote, can never be done remote, and they have to, go and be present somewhere and earn that $1 per hour wage. And, the reality is that that's probably the person that's delivering your groceries.
Yeah.
So that is something that I've been thinking of really,
Yeah, economic gap, the class gap that we're having. I mean, people who didn't sort of think about it before are certainly thinking about it now, because we're seeing how much it's affected people in communities that are minorities or that are economically distressed.
Yeah.
I mean, the virus itself is higher rate there.
Yeah.
Rate of infection is higher there, and people don't realize that that's how the world has always been, unfortunately. But now that we're in such a glorious time of technology and advanced thought, I mean, we can change it, but no one wants to put in the time or money to change that gap, because then the rich won't be rich anymore. And, and they won't be all high class anymore, because everyone will be on an equal playing field. That's just my thoughts. I'm not trying to make any suggestions or any political remarks here, but this is the reality that we live in. And my family friend's grandmother passed away, unfortunately, from COVID. And,
sorry.
Their family has been totally affected by it. I mean, the whole house had to self-quarantine, and some of them were even positive for it.
Right.
So this virus is a common enemy. It doesn't have any color, creed, class, sexuality, religion, nothing. It's just a virus. But that virus is also not just a virus. It affects us economically, vocationally, health-wise, mental health-wise. There's vicarious trauma surrounding a virus. So if your neighbor gets it, or a community member, a family member, a friend, you're going to feel their trauma. So that brings you stress as well. There's the blanket anxiety everyone's feeling around the whole world, because everyone in every country is facing the same thoughts. Who's going to get it, and when are they going to get it? So there's all these anxieties and vicarious trauma that we keep, at the front of our brains all the time, even if we're doing our self-cares, our sleep routine and everything. But that reality, that scary, scary reality is what keeps everyone sort of on edge.
Completely agree. And, and the reality that this can hit you anytime, unfortunately.
Out of anywhere.
Oh, yeah, I totally am up to par with that.
And I want another thing that I've actually kind of like, noticed and heard as well is that there's going to be additional, I want to say, heightened stigma around, knowing somebody that that has it, or all that stuff. I mean, when it first started to come around, we had already started to hear, unfortunately, racial discrimination stories against Asian people, especially in the city, which was really disheartening to see.
Unfortunately, that was random. Like, it was happening in every major city where there was any one person who was from the Asian background. They were sort of targeted as the carrier for the virus. But we know even a surface or another human being, despite their race, can be a carrier.
Yeah. And honestly, and we know that this is not a political platform by any means, but it doesn't also help when, leadership of a country is also pointing fingers and pointing blames. I mean, You know, just as like even listeners to this, let's remember that there is no point in game. You know, there is no.
Yeah.
This is not a point in game.
Yeah, that just makes it easier for the rest of the country, literally the rest of the country, to do the same.
Yep, because when the higher ups are saying, or rather, if any of our modern day countries were kingdoms, even though some still are, but whatever, we're not getting technical. When the bourgeoisie or the higher ups, when they are corrupt, it sort of gives the notion to the people who are under that it's okay to be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And we've seen this on so many different occasions where there was like a situation where it was a group of people who were blamed, and then everyone thought it was okay to blame that group of people as well. And now where it's on a completely different scale now, where now we have politicians and leadership people who are quote unquote leaders. I will never define him as a leader, by the way.
Right.
You know what? Our orange in chief literally says things that are against science, and then his sort of counter argument is, well, no, it is like that because I said so. No empirical evidence, no research to back himself up. Just it is like this because I said so. Like what? Even my nephews are children. They're babies, and they don't even say, you know, they're a lot smarter than he is. You know, and he acts like a child, like a cartoon child. Like he points fingers when he's upset, when there's information given to you. Oh no, he started it, she started it.
Yeah.
I got asked a difficult question, so I'm gonna leave the room.
It's scary.
And then
I mean, it takes a pandemic. I'm sorry, it takes a pandemic and it makes it worse because then we're, you know, it's being politicized. Like follow the science. If they're saying at the we have to take preventative measures, then do it. It's so easy. Wear a mask.
And I will say this, I did not know that there would be a day in my life where I would wake up and like all the companies ever making sanitizers would say, please don't inject yourself with sanitizers.
Yeah.
I wanted to like literally like throw my phone across the room and so like, what the hell?
I honestly didn't know if that was a joke or not.
Dude.
Oh my god, same Manako, same.
Okay, I guess okay, Purell telling me, yeah, please don't inject sanitizer into your blood was a thing I did not know I would like find on the internet. Okay, I just
A legit
Twitter was
thing.
lit that day. Twitter was like, all the companies were tweeting. They're like, please do not ingest our product.
Yeah, please do not ingest our product.
That was the best day of Twitter. Like, there was a few, but like that was top.
Oh, man.
And the other one that I never, you know, I don't know if you guys have been following Elon Musk and the birth of his child and the naming of the child and
Oh god.
That math equation.
that math equation. I mean, I have to say, it's like, to your point that you just made before, like, you know, the disparity and like how if this goes away or, you know, if equilibrium is somehow, you know, is brought to, you know, what makes up the different classes of working people in this country, you know, he's a prime example of like, I admire him from a perspective of somebody who's, you know, done a good thing in tech and, you know, he's obviously a pioneer when it comes to certain things, okay, you know, in technology specifically. I'm not talking about that child's name, but, you know, he is like, but like lately I've been like really mad at people like him too, because he's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm actually gonna take Tesla out of California because you're not letting, like, you know, you're not allowing me to open up my you know Tesla factory or whatever it is. It's like you're literally endangering people's lives, and he actually did it, right? He's like, this is open. Whoever wants to come into work, we're wearing masks. I don't care. I'm actually defying the state of California. Come arrest me. Like that is
I'll pay the fines. It's fine. I'm rich.
that is like
Yeah.
the height of like stupidity and like I want to say a privilege that I've seen on social media. So in addition to Orange and Chief,
This is a minor example of how the pandemic shows people's true colors.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, people with a lot of influence and a lot of money, okay, should be helping others who are suffering from the pandemic. I mean, look at what Trevor Noah did. He paid his workers from his own pocket because they were furloughed by whatever blanket company, umbrella company that they're in. I forgot which one it was. But also like Amazon CEO, you have like you're almost or almost is gonna be the world's first billionaire or something.
Yeah, he's on his
Like
way.
you can save in like 3 villages in India. That's like what a population of combined at least 1 million people. 3 villages, I don't know.
And it wouldn't even
But-
put a dent in his bank account.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even put a dent in his bank account. Thank you for saying that.
I
Exactly.
am going to link to this podcast a website that I found. It's literally called Wealth Shown on Scale. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise for you, but I'll just give you a kind of a teaser. It is literally Jeff Bezos's wealth visualized. And
Oh, I want to see that.
and like how how 400 people, just 400 people in this country hold trillions of dollars, just that 400, and what that can do for the world. And
Oh my god.
let me just tell you, it was eye-opening statistics. I made my dad sit down, and like one afternoon I was like, really gotta show you something, Dad. And yeah, it took him like 15-20 minutes, because this thing is filled with like visualizations and information. And like what you just said, 3 villages, no man, try like how, and again, this is, I don't want to give it away, but like how like 0.000 something percent of his income can actually give clean water and clean toilet access to the entire world. You're talking about 3
Wow.
villages to the entire. So yeah, I'm gonna link it to this podcast episode on our website, and also probably bio of Spotify. But then yeah, I'm gonna send it to you guys. But yeah, to your guys' point, like, and he might just become the world's, and I'm sure it's gonna happen, because think about it for a second, right? Like, I didn't stop paying my Prime subscription because 2-day shipping or whatever it is. But now, I mean, those places, those warehouses did not stop. If anything, like people were, and I'm sure you saw this on social as well, people were actually punished when they decided to, strike against Amazon, or saying that, hey, we need hazard pay, we need to, make extra something or whatever. We're still here, we're working, and you're taking advantage of our situation. We need to work in order to provide for our families. We don't have remote jobs.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't even get some kind of hazard pay or like extra pay, it's like, why? It just, honest question, like, why don't these people help? Like, why? Like, he knows he has all this money. Why doesn't he help?
You know what I think it is? I think it's knowledge. I think it's greed. I think that when you get to a point when you have a lot of money, it's like there's nothing in the world that can be enough. I also think just to play devil's advocate, the other side is like taxes and fees, and then rent on all your properties and all your facilities. However, still, even after all the fees and all the rent and all the taxes and whatever you want to call it, and the monthly service costs or whatever, you still have a lot of money in your bank.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no
exactly.
excuse. But I feel like there is a portion of greed or portion of I mean, it was like that Saudi prince who got into a fight with his brother because he had a bigger yacht than him.
Right.
So he bought another yacht just so he could one up him. I mean, it's also a big mental component to it too,
Yeah.
of having money. Speaking of princes and celebrities and things that we keep seeing, where do we see it the most? Social media, right? Because we live in an era of technology, the pandemic has definitely, I've seen, because of analytics on like social medias and some of the things I do on the side, people are using Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter like crazy.
Yes.
Especially because they're at home now and they're quarantined. So it brings us to our last segment before we leave you guys. And that is, here's some weird things we saw on the internet. Okay. I just want to start off by saying I saw something where, like, since this is like a Desi South Asian podcast, I thought I'd just throw this in here. I saw on the internet that someone said that this pandemic, sorry, not the pandemic, this virus can be healed by like herbal medicine. Like you can take like golden milk, like turmeric, and
Golden milk.
like, come on, man. Like, seriously, we have so much technology and science. I mean, look, they're saying it's going to take a year to make a vaccine, but Indians and Pakistanis and Bengalis have already found the vaccine through a leaf. Or a root, whatever.
And no disregard. I mean, those things have its place.
Yeah, but a
It might be good
virus.
for you, but it doesn't prevent COVID.
No, it does not. Oh my god, like we've been seeing so many, posts and stuff like that. This is a propaganda that the white person has created.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats like got together with all the countries in the world to make a fake pandemic. Really? Really?
Crazy. All the fake virus things are really funny.
I hope they're satire, because if any of them are serious, they need to go back to school.
It's true. Oh my god. I've been seeing some really heartfelt things that people are doing for each other. I think it's fantastic. I love the 7 o'clock, shift change chanting and cheering.
The clapping and everything.
Yeah.
For New Yorkers. I think that's so fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to shout out some of the people in my own network that have been making masks, like, countless masks, and been donating to places, doctors, nurses, and hospitals that have, needed it. I think that's some of the more uplifting things that I've seen on social. So, in the recent weeks.
Yeah, another thing that was really nice was that I saw on Twitter, I think, that somebody left like individual TPs and some sanitizers and some wipes and stuff outside their door for all of the delivery drivers, like Amazon people and FedEx people.
Oh wow.
And UPS people, for them to take.
really
That was
nice.
really nice. Yeah.
So cool.
Just for like thanking them and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen that. I went on a walk around my block, and people had like hope stickers on like their
Right.
garage doors, and like they had the kids like with the chalk that you can draw with on the driveway.
Uh-huh,
Is that just regular chalk? I don't know, because now I sound dumb.
Like sidewalk chalk.
I think okay. But they drew like thank you. They drew a thank you. They wrote thank you. They drew like little birds around it. Like, it's so cute, so cute. I just stood there taking pictures. The other thing I saw on social media that was really cool was that like different companies would start to convert their factories into something that would help.
Right.
Yeah.
With the pandemic, my brother bought a 3D printer. He printed some face shields. Yeah.
Love.
That's
He did
really
that.
nice.
Two companies that I love, Rasta and Profound, have made their fashion brand create masks in which a portion of it goes to charity.
Very
Like
nice.
the profits go to, like a portion of the profits go to charity. While still looking good, you can also be giving money to those who need it.
Totally.
Unlike the big corporations. But other than that, I've seen a lot of like individuals like giving charity.
Yeah.
Facebook charities, the ones that match with whatever company is hosting it. Those are really cool. There's some Instagram ones as well. There's the ones with the stickers. There's the one where if you share a post, somebody will donate a few dollars just because you shared the post. I mean, look, I think this is why the world is still going around is because there's still really, really good people. I mean, despite like the corruption amongst leaders and
Yeah.
CEOs and politicians, there's still some really good people on the individual level, and I really just want to shout them out because
Totally.
it's phenomenal the way that we've came together. I mean, think about if we create a common enemy such as a virus, like look at how many people are coming together.
Yeah. It's really nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the power of social media. But then the other side to it is like when you have a pandemic, everyone's on social media a lot.
Right.
But we have to learn to take a break from it too.
Totally. And I actually wanted to ask you, if you think that, what are some ways of, because right now the one way that everybody's connecting is through a screen. And by the way, like, it's, this could probably be like part 3, but like our grandparents are really mad that we haven't been able to, come and see them and stuff like that. But,
Wow.
that's a completely, like, that's a bad tangent right there.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, like, how do you suggest that we take some time, and how do we like tell our brain to sort of disconnect? I've found myself like at the end of the day feeling very foggy and, feeling like really, I want to say almost like disconnected with my own body because being in front of a screen so much. So any like, tips or tricks there to be able to bring yourself back to the moment?
Of course. I don't think it's more so about being back to the moment whereas it's more a physiological response to a very unnatural thing. Being in front of the screen for 15 hours is not natural, which is why I suggest, and not sponsored, blue light glasses.
Ooh.
Because if in front of a screen,
Ah.
for people on audio only, like where I'm literally like showing glasses on the screen, there are ways to tackle little things that build up to become bigger problems. Like 15 hours in front of the screen is not normal. And if you need to do it, wear blue light glasses. That's the number one, like 2+2 solution there. But other solutions aren't so straight up. There's a different combination of the ways in which we can deal with stress in the pandemic, or with screen time in general. Even after the pandemic, if you're sitting in front of the screen, I mean, there's other ways to sort of deal with that. And that would be through giving yourself a break, through napping, through reading a book that's not an ebook, turning off the screen when you need to, and sort of going on a call without screens on. I mean, I find that helps a lot. Like if there's a Zoom call going on, you don't necessarily have to be on the video. Turn the video off for a little bit, be on audio only. I know a lot of people can't do that. What else? I'm thinking that, I think reading is a great way to sort of keep yourself informed by not reading the news and articles online 24/7.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, a lot of different devices, such as iPads and mobile phones, have a feature called blue light filter. You just hit that and make the opacity on 100, and it should remove all the light that causes our eyes to be strained.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, so these are just some suggestions here and there. Other than that, I've started a network of basically therapeutic professionals, so like social workers, mental health counselors, mental health counseling students. And it's called, it's in Long Beach, so it's called Long Beach Therapy Network. It's actually my professors. So if anybody needs anything, we are offering free telehealth therapy to anyone who needs it. We will put it in the bio, right? And we also have a social media page called MH Counselors, in which we post different inspiring quotes and different self-care tips. So we've been working on that throughout the pandemic as well. Maybe I should have added that when I gave everyone the impression all I do is play video games. But that's just a little shout out there. Definitely follow them. Definitely take advantage of this offer, because it'll only be here for the summer, and we'll probably continue it, but this is more for COVID-19 relief. So we have that in place.
That's really
nice. Sort of thing.
You know what? We would love to have, I mean, if anybody, first of all, thank you so much for giving us all these different, I mean, that's like 10 things right there. And we're more than happy to actually list it out and make sure that, another thing that I was actually, thinking of is highlighting some of these pieces that we talk about and post it in actually, text, so that some of our listeners who don't want to, don't have time, or if it's like better for them and not take away too much time from them, we're happy to post highlights from what we talk about.
Oh yeah, that's a.
I'm making a note right now to write different resources instead of just having So for those who don't know, we have a whole resources tab on our website that we're going to be creating. But other than that, we are going to be posting it on our Instagram as well, where we'll have a post with different links on them. In terms of LB Therapy Network or MH Counselors. Those are just two of the things that I'm offering personally. But later down the line, if anybody wants, on our website, we have a section called Topic Suggestions. You can either with your name or anonymously post whatever resource you think would help other people, yourself, or us, and we shall share it on our page.
Absolutely.
But on that note, follow us on all our socials. We are LKK Podcast on Instagram. And make sure you post on our website as well. And, take care of yourselves. And, what are your parting words, Kinza and Naho?
Actually, I would love to say that we would love to have a panel of, a few speakers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic. Especially from and that is of course being mindful of everybody's time and everything like that. We would love to have a therapeutics kind of coming together and hearing from the experts essentially.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
that being said, I would love to hand it over to you guys and just saying that let's take care of ourselves and of each other.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
bake
of
more
course,
banana
thank you
bread.
guys for sharing.
And bake more banana bread.
Oh, whoa, yo.
'Cause that's
so
always
after this
fun.
is done, tell me how you make banana bread and then I'll copy.
Oh, we actually made bread.
We did.
We
make
made bread. It was really good.
Like money? No. Not too.
That as well.
Not too.
But this one was the one that goes inside soup.
Oh, okay. So like the dollar bills that you put in chicken noodle soup. Okay.
Ew.
That's the dollar bills that have COVID on them, you put it in the soup, and then the
Ew.
COVID dies because the soup has turmeric in it. Okay, I
That's yummy. That sounds great.
That was a
I'm sorry.
tangent I did not know I needed, but I loved it. Maybe we should also post a picture of the bread that you made. I think that would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Or maybe we can make new bread and have like a whole thing.
Maybe you could write LKK on one of those breads and we
Oh.
post it on it. Oh,
My God.
That would be great.
and then we can make bread off it. Okay, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. And you're definitely going to see more of us. We have different things in the works. We have website updates. We have incoming posts. We have more episodes coming out.
And
Stay
we
tuned.
have
Thank you for
merch.
supporting us.
We have merch coming out actually.
Oh, we have merch coming out too.
Yes.
See, we have all these notes that like we're so excited to see each other that we forgot some points, so now they're just coming out at the end. This is how you know that the podcast is natural.
And
Like this is not scripted.
100%. But that was something that we called out, even in our first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, we did. But people like that chaos. People like that utter freedom.
That's what we've heard.
Yeah.
Risky,
well, while you like the
frisky.
freedom, just don't worry about.
Look,
Look
at the
See
henge.
you guys. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Goodbye.